The colony ship Horizon moved slowly through unknown space. Inside, 5,000 humans slept in special chambers. They had left Earth behind when its resources became too scarce to support everyone. Captain Ethan Powell sat in his command chair, looking at the stars on the main screen. He rubbed his tired eyes and sighed. Once a military man who led soldiers, he now led sleeping civilians to a new home. The weight of this duty kept him awake during his rest periods. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Lisa Grant, who managed communications. Her fingers moved quickly across her control panel. "It's not like anything in our database." Powell stood up and walked to her station. "Show me." On the small screen, a pattern of light pulses appeared. They came at regular intervals, too organized to be natural. "It's a signal," Powell said quietly. "Someone is out there." The crew of the Horizon, the 20 people awake while everyone else slept, gathered in the meeting room. Lisa played the signal for everyone. "We should answer," said Olivia Ward, the science officer. Her eyes showed excitement. This could be the first alien contact in human history. Some crew members nodded in agreement, while others looked worried. "If we ignore them and keep going, we might miss an opportunity," said John Murphy, the chief engineer. "But if they're hostile?" Powell made his decision. "We'll answer, but we'll be careful." Lisa, send a simple greeting message using mathematical sequences. Olivia, analyze everything we receive. Sam, make sure our defensive systems are ready, just in case. 3 days later, an enormous ship appeared on their sensors. It gleamed like a giant crystal, with sharp edges and points catching the light of a nearby star. "They're hailing us," Lisa said, her voice shaking slightly. The main screen showed the aliens for the first time. They looked like walking crystals, with bodies made of clear, shining material. Inside, colored lights pulsed in patterns. They stood much taller than humans, with sharp edges and points everywhere. "I am Supreme Commander Zervex of the Valkyrie Dominion," the lead alien said, its voice creating strange echoes. "We welcome you to this sector of space." Powell introduced himself and explained their mission to find a new home. The crystal being made a sound like breaking glass, which their computer translated as laughter. "How fortunate we found you. Your species is delightfully fragile. You will make an excellent addition to our preservation collection." "Preservation collection?" Powell asked, feeling uneasy. "Of course. We Valkyrie have evolved to perfection. Our bodies can withstand pressures that would crush your soft forms. We preserve lesser species before they inevitably destroy themselves. It is our gift to the galaxy." Powell tried to stay diplomatic. "We appreciate your concern, but we don't need preservation. We seek only a planet to settle on peacefully." Zervex's inner lights flashed rapidly. "You misunderstand, Captain. This is not an offer. Physical strength determines which species deserve independence. The weak must be protected from themselves." "We don't share that view," Powell said firmly. "Strength comes in many forms." The alien's lights dimmed slightly. How typical of the physically inferior to say so. "We will begin collection procedures shortly." The screen went black. "They're powering weapons," Sam Richardson shouted from the tactical station. "Evasive maneuvers," Powell ordered. "Wake the emergency crew. Lisa, send warnings to all nearby systems." The first blast hit before they could move. The ship shook violently. Sparks flew from control panels. "Engines damage," Murphy reported. "We can't go to full speed." Another hit rocked the ship. "They're boarding us," Sam yelled. Powell grabbed the ship-wide communication system. "All stations, prepare for boarding defense. This is not a drill." Crystal beings broke through the hull in 3 different places. The crew fought back with whatever weapons they had, but the aliens' bodies deflected most attacks. Murphy and 2 engineers were captured before they could seal off the engine room. Powell watched helplessly as they were taken. "We need to retreat," Powell told the remaining crew. "Lisa, find us somewhere to hide. Sam, give us whatever cover you can." As the Horizon limped away, Powell stared at the crystal ship growing smaller on the screen. The aliens had called humans weak. He would show them just how wrong they were. The horizon hid among large rocks in an asteroid field. The ship's lights were dimmed to avoid detection by the Valkyrie. Inside, the crew worked quickly to fix the damage. Captain Powell gathered his remaining officers in the small meeting room. Their faces showed worry and fear. "What do they want with us?" asked Lisa Grant, her voice shaking a little. "They think we're weak," Powell said. "They collect species they think can't survive on their own." Olivia Ward, the science officer, looked up from her tablet. "I've been studying the data we collected. Despite their strength, the Valkyrie have weaknesses." Everyone turned to look at her. Their bodies are like living crystals. They communicate through vibrations. Certain sound frequencies might hurt them. And they can't bend easily. They're strong but not flexible. Sam Richardson nodded. "We could use that. Maybe make weapons that target those weaknesses." "First, we need more information," Powell said. "And we need to rescue Murphy and the others." On the Valkyrie ship, John Murphy woke up in a small, clear cell. Other cells nearby held different creatures. Some looked like giant insects. Others had multiple limbs or strange colors. A tall Valkyrie approached his cell. Its crystal body caught the light and broke it into small rainbows. "The human is awake," it said to another Valkyrie. "How fragile it looks." "Yet they resist," said the second one. "Interesting." Murphy sat up slowly. "We're tougher than we look." The Valkyrie made the glass-breaking sound that meant laughter. "I am Krytal, scientist third rank," the first one said. "You will help us understand human weaknesses." "And if I refuse?" Murphy asked. "Then we will learn by taking you apart," Krytal said simply. Over the next few days, Murphy answered their questions about human biology and society. He tried to learn about them too. He noticed Krytal seemed different from other Valkyrie. She asked more questions and listened to his answers with interest. "Why do you collect other species?" Murphy asked her one day. "It is our duty," she said. "The strong must protect the weak." "By keeping them in cages." Krytal's inner lights flickered. "It is better than extinction. Humans survived on Earth for thousands of years without your help," Murphy said. "But your planet became uninhabitable," she pointed out. "So we adapted. We built ships and left to find a new home. That's not weakness. That's survival." Krytal was quiet for a moment. An interesting perspective. Back on the horizon, Powell met with Ryan Brooks, a communications specialist with military training. "I have a plan to get information about the Valkyrie ship," Brooks said, "and maybe rescue our people." Powell listened as Brooks explained his idea. The Valkyrie captured other species. They must use some of them as workers. If I can pose as one of these aliens, I might get on their ship. "It's too dangerous," Powell argued. "We need information," Brooks said firmly. "And it's our best chance to save Murphy." After much discussion, Powell agreed. Using parts from damaged equipment, Olivia and Sam built a device that could change how Brooks looked to the Valkyrie sensors. Meanwhile, Olivia made progress with her research. The Valkyrie communicate through vibrations in their crystal bodies. We might be able to create sounds that disrupt those vibrations. Sam started working on sonic devices based on her findings. Powell led a small team to an old mining station they had spotted in the asteroid field. They found useful materials and started making more weapons. On the Valkyrie ship, Murphy gained some limited freedom by helping with engineering problems. The Valkyrie were impressed by how quickly he solved issues their rigid thinking couldn't handle. He used this freedom to learn more about the ship and look for ways to help his crew. Krytal often watched him work. "Your species thinks differently than ours," she said one day. "Is that bad?" Murphy asked. "It is unexpected," she replied. "Supreme Commander Zurvex believes physical strength is everything. But perhaps there are other kinds of strength." Murphy smiled slightly. Maybe not all Valkyrie thought humans were weak, Maybe there was hope for understanding between their species. But first, he needed to find a way to contact the horizon. Ryan Brooks moved carefully through the service tunnels of the Valkyrie mothership. The device Olivia made changed how he looked to Valkyrie eyes and sensors. Now he appeared as Ixindi, an insect-like species that served the Valkyrie. He had watched the real Ixindi workers for 2 days before sneaking onto a supply ship. They kept their heads down and worked quickly. Brooks did the same, pushing a cart of supplies through the massive crystal hallways. No Valkyrie gave him a second look. To them, he was just another weak servant, not worth noticing. Brooks passed a large room with clear walls. Inside, he saw creatures floating in glowing liquid. Some looked asleep. Others seemed frozen in fear. Their collection, he whispered to himself. Dozens of different aliens from many worlds, kept like animals in a zoo. Following the information Murphy had secretly sent through a modified communication device, Brooks made his way to the engineering section. He found Murphy fixing a power unit while a Valkyrie guard watched from across the room. Brooks waited until the guard turned away, then approached. "Supply delivery," he said quietly. Murphy glanced up, confused by the insect-like creature speaking English. "It's Brooks," he whispered. "We're getting you out." Murphy's eyes widened, but he kept his face calm. "Not yet," he whispered back. "I need to finish something first. Find Krital in the science lab. She'll help." Brooks nodded and pushed his cart away before the guard could become suspicious. He found the science lab 2 levels down. Krital was alone, studying images of Earth on a large screen. "Krital," Brooks said, closing the door behind him. She turned quickly, her crystal body catching the light. "Ixindi does not enter without permission." Brooks turned off his disguise device. "I'm human, a friend of Murphy's." Her lights flashed in surprise. "You infiltrated our ship." "Impossible. Humans are too weak to do the impossible." Brooks smiled. "That's what we do best." After some hesitation, Krital agreed to help. "Not all Valkyrie agree with the Supreme Commander," she said. "Some of us question whether physical strength is all that matters." Meanwhile, on a distant moon, Powell led a team exploring an abandoned building. They had followed old signals hoping to find technology they could use. "This place was built by someone who knew the Valkyrie," Olivia said, looking at strange writing on the walls. "Maybe they fought them too." Sam Richardson called from another room. "Captain, you need to see this." They found him standing before a wall of weapons. Unlike anything humans had made, these were designed specifically to fight crystal beings. "Sonic disruptors," Olivia said, examining one. "They create frequencies that can crack crystal structures." "Can you make them work?" Powell asked. "Better," she replied. "I can use these designs to improve our own weapons." Back on the Valkyrie ship, Brooks gathered crucial information about their defenses and plans. In a restricted area, he found maps of nearby star systems. The Valkyrie had marked several planets for collection. "They're planning a major attack," he told Murphy and Krital when they met in a quiet storage room. "In less than a month." "We need to warn Captain Powell," Murphy said, "and every other species in this sector." Krital's inner lights dimmed. "I have been blind to what my people do. We claim to preserve species, but we rob them of freedom and dignity." "Help us stop them," Brooks said. "There are others like me," she replied. "Young Valkyrie who question our ways. I can connect you with them." As they made plans, an alarm suddenly blared through the ship. "Unauthorized communications detected," a voice announced. "They found our signal to the horizon," Murphy said. "Brooks, you need to go now." Guards were coming. Brooks grabbed the data chip with the defense information and ran. Murphy and Krital went the other way to create a distraction. Brooks fought his way to a small maintenance ship. His disguise no longer worked, and he had to use the skills from his military training. A Valkyrie guard hit him hard, cutting his side deeply. But Brooks managed to knock the guard down and reach the ship. As he flew away from the mothership, blood soaking his uniform, Brooks sent one final message to the horizon. "Coming home. Got what we need. Murphy staying behind. Valkyrie not as united as they seem." Brooks reached the horizon barely conscious, his small ship running on emergency power. Medical staff rushed him to the sick bay while Powell examined the data he had brought back. "The Valkyrie are planning to attack these star systems," Powell said, showing the others the stolen maps. "We need to warn them." "Can we trust this information?" Sam asked. "It could be a trap." "Brooks risked his life for this," Lisa said firmly. "And Murphy is still there, helping us from inside." Powell made his decision. "We'll use this information to find allies. The Valkyrie can't be the only power in this region of space." Using the star charts Brooks had stolen, the Horizon traveled to a small trading outpost at the edge of Valkyrie territory. Ships of different designs filled the docking area, belonging to species humans had never seen before. Maria Diaz, who had trained as a diplomat on Earth, led the first contact team. Her calm voice and respectful manner helped open conversations with several alien groups. "We seek allies against the Valkyrie," she explained to a group of tall, thin aliens with 4 arms. "They attacked us without provocation. The Crystal Ones believe they are superior to all," said one alien. "They have taken many worlds. Yet you trade here freely," Diaz noted. "The Meridian Collective protects this outpost," explained the alien. "We are many species working together. Alone, each of us would be conquered. Together, we resist." Diaz asked to meet the leaders of this collective. After many questions, the aliens agreed to arrange a meeting. 3 days later, representatives from 12 different species gathered on the outpost's central deck. Some floated in the air, others needed special breathing equipment. All had faced the threat of Valkyrie collection. Powell showed them the weapons Olivia had developed based on the designs they had found. "These target Valkyrie physiology," he explained. "Their crystalline structures can be disrupted by specific frequencies." "Why should we trust humans?" asked a small furry alien with large eyes. "You are new to this region. You have no history here." Maria Diaz stepped forward. "On Earth, our history is full of stronger forces attempting to conquer those they saw as weak. Again and again, the underestimated prevail through cooperation, innovation, and determination." She showed them images from Earth's history: guerrilla fighters defeating larger armies, small nations maintaining independence against empires, and indigenous peoples preserving their cultures against overwhelming odds. "Humans understand being underestimated," she said. "We know how to turn that into an advantage." On the Valkyrie mothership, Murphy worked with Krytal to build a network of dissatisfied Valkyrie. Many younger ones questioned their society's obsession with physical strength. "Our civilization hasn't created anything new in centuries," Krytal told a small group meeting in secret. "We take from others, but create nothing ourselves." "Because our leaders fear change," said another young Valkyrie named Jevnar. "They claim we have reached perfection, but perfect things don't need to grow or adapt." Murphy showed them human history on a small screen he had hidden. "Humans are physically weaker than many Earth species, but we survived through adaptation and cooperation. Supreme Commander Zervex would never accept such ideas," Jevnar said, lights flashing in concern. "Then perhaps the Valkyrie need new leadership," Krytal suggested quietly. Back at the trading outpost, the Meridian Collective voted to form an alliance with the humans. They were impressed by the weapons Olivia had developed and by the information Brooks had obtained. The Valkyrie believe that physical strength makes them superior, Powell told the gathered allies. "They expect direct confrontation because that's how they think. But we won't fight on their terms." He outlined a strategy based on Earth's military history: quick strikes against supply lines and communication centers, avoiding direct battles where the Valkyrie's physical strength gave them an advantage. "They think we're weak," Powell said. "Let them keep thinking that while we chip away at their power." The alliance began preparing for war, gathering ships and adapting human weapons for different species to use. For the first time since encountering the Valkyrie, Powell felt hope. They weren't alone anymore. With help from the Meridian Collective, the humans began building their special weapons. Olivia Ward worked day and night, teaching alien engineers how to make the resonance disruptors that could crack Valkyrie crystal bodies. Sam Richardson studied Valkyrie technology from the parts Brooks had brought back. He found ways to make the Horizon's shields stronger and its engines faster. The Valkyrie have never had to improve their technology much, Sam told Powell. They rely on their natural strength instead of innovation. Powell nodded. That's their weakness. They expect others to think like them, to fight directly, and try to match strength with strength. He called a meeting with the Meridian leaders to explain his plan. Using a small projection device, he showed maps of Valkyrie territory. We won't attack their main forces, he explained. Instead, we'll target these smaller outposts and supply routes. We'll damage their ability to communicate and move resources. Some aliens looked confused. A large, tentacled being spoke up. But there is no honor in such tactics. No glory in victory. There's no honor in extinction either, Powell replied calmly. We're fighting for survival, not glory. After much discussion, the Alliance agreed to Powell's strategy. Small, fast ships would carry out quick attacks and retreat before the Valkyrie could respond with full force. Laura Chen, the security chief from the Horizon, led the first mission. Her team included humans and 3 different alien species, each with special skills. They targeted a Valkyrie communications relay near the edge of their territory. Remember, get in fast and get out faster, Chen told her team as their ship approached the target. Don't try to fight them directly. Using the aliens' knowledge of local space and the humans' tactical planning, they destroyed the relay without losing anyone. The Valkyrie guards were confused by enemies who struck quickly and disappeared instead of standing to fight. The mission's success boosted morale throughout the Alliance. More attacks followed, each targeting important but lightly defended Valkyrie facilities. On the Valkyrie mothership, Supreme Commander Zurvex raged at his officers. How can these soft creatures cause such damage? Find them and crush them. The humans use dishonorable tactics, complained one officer. They strike and run like cowards. Murphy, working nearby, hid a smile. The Valkyrie couldn't understand that humans had turned their perceived weakness into strength. Being smaller and more agile allowed them to attack in ways the Valkyrie never expected. Kretal's resistance group grew larger as more Valkyrie questioned their leader's decisions. The Supreme Commander is diverting ships from the planned expansion to chase the humans, she told Murphy during a secret meeting. Many Valkyrie see this as a sign of weakness. Is your group ready to act when the time comes? Murphy asked. Almost, she replied. We need something big to show others that the old ways are failing. Back with the Alliance fleet, Powell received reports of Valkyrie ships changing position. They're pulling forces from these sectors to strengthen their core worlds, he told his officers, pointing to the map. That creates opportunities for us. And for the people still under Valkyrie control, Maria Diaz added. We've received messages from 3 different worlds asking for help to break free. Powell smiled. The Valkyrie had called humans weak, but their strategy was working. By avoiding direct confrontation and striking where least expected, they had forced the mighty Valkyrie to react to them. The next phase would be riskier. They planned to attack a major fuel processing center that supplied the Valkyrie fleet. If successful, it would severely limit Valkyrie ships' ability to chase them. The Valkyrie will expect us to keep hitting small targets, Powell told the mission commanders. This will surprise them. As the Alliance prepared for the larger attack, Powell sent a coded message to Murphy. The stone begins to crack. Be ready. After months of small attacks, the Human Meridian Alliance had damaged many Valkyrie bases and supply lines. But Supreme Commander Zurvex made a cruel decision in response. A message reached the Alliance fleet showing alien captives in their crystal cells. For each attack on Valkyrie property, 1 species in our protection will be terminated, Zervex announced. Their weakness made them our responsibility. Your actions prove you are unworthy of existence. Powell called an emergency meeting with Alliance leaders. We can't let them use hostages to stop us, he said, though his face showed his concern. But we cannot sacrifice innocent lives, argued a Meridian representative. While they debated what to do, another message arrived, this one from Murphy through their secret channel. Internal resistance ready. Major uprising planned in 3 days. Target Crucible to draw forces away. What is Crucible? Powell asked the Meridians. An elder alien with pale blue skin explained. The gas giant where the Valkyrie evolved. Their breeding grounds are there, deep in the high-pressure zones. It is sacred to them. Powell thought carefully. If we threaten something they truly value, they might pull forces away from the mothership. That would give Murphy and the Resistance their chance. But attacking their homeworld would unite all Valkyrie against us, warned Maria Dias. Not attack, Powell corrected. Demonstrate that we could attack if we wanted to. Show them their sacred place isn't as safe as they believe. The plan came together quickly. The Alliance fleet would approach Crucible while Murphy and Cretal led their uprising on the mothership, freeing the captive species. On the day of the mission, Powell stood on the bridge of the horizon, now equipped with Meridian technology and the weapons Olivia had designed. All ships report ready, Captain, Lisa said from her station. Begin approach to Crucible, Powell ordered. The journey took 12 hours. As they neared the massive gas giant, swirling with colorful storms, Valkyrie defense ships moved to intercept them. Message from the lead Valkyrie ship, Lisa reported. They're ordering us to withdraw immediately or be destroyed. Powell ignored them. Continue approach. Prepare resonance devices. More Valkyrie ships appeared, just as they had hoped. The mothership would now have fewer defenders. On that mothership, Murphy and Cretal put their plan into action. With help from other species and rebellious young Valkyrie, they took control of several sections. We have opened the preservation chambers, Cretal told Murphy as they ran through a crystal hallway. The captives are being led to escape pods. Alarms blared throughout the ship as the uprising spread. Supreme Commander Zervex was caught between two crises, the attack on Crucible and the rebellion on his own ship. Near Crucible, the Alliance fleet found itself surrounded by Valkyrie warships. We can't win this fight, Sam warned Powell. We don't need to win, Powell replied. We just need to show them something they thought impossible. He ordered the fleet to dive toward the gas giant's atmosphere. The Valkyrie ships followed but stopped at a certain depth. The pressure there would crush normal ships. But the Horizon and its allies had been modified based on Olivia's research. Using special shields and hull reinforcements, they descended deeper than the Valkyrie thought possible. They're not following, Sam reported, amazed they were still intact. The pressure would damage their crystal bodies. From this position, lower than any non-Valkyrie had ever gone in Crucible's atmosphere, they deployed special resonance devices. These didn't cause destruction but created a pattern of harmonic waves visible throughout the upper atmosphere. A clear message that humans could reach the Valkyrie breeding grounds. Message to all Valkyrie ships, Powell said calmly. We could destroy your sacred place, but we choose not to. We seek coexistence, not domination. Your view of strength is flawed. True strength includes restraint. As the Alliance fleet rose from the depths, they saw the Valkyrie ships backing away. For the first time, the crystal beings faced an enemy who could reach their most protected place, and had chosen not to harm it. Return to the mothership, Powell ordered. Let's see if Murphy's uprising succeeded. The demonstration at Crucible sent shockwaves through Valkyrie society. The patterns created by human technology remained visible in the gas giant's atmosphere for days, a constant reminder that the weak humans could have destroyed their sacred breeding grounds, but chose not to. When the Alliance fleet returned to the mothership, they found the uprising had succeeded. Thousands of captive beings from dozens of species had been freed. Cretal and her followers controlled most of the ship. Murphy greeted Powell with a tired smile as he stepped off his shuttle. Your timing was perfect. When the Valkyrie defenders left to protect Crucible, we made our move. And Zurvex? Powell asked. Captured, Murphy replied. But he still has loyal followers. They're gathering for one last attack. True to Murphy's warning, Supreme Commander Zurvex escaped and gathered his remaining loyal ships for a final assault against the horizon. I will not allow lesser beings to dictate terms, he declared to his followers. We must restore the natural order. The Valkyrie attack force approached rapidly, their crystal ships gleaming in the light of a nearby star. Powell ordered all Alliance ships to prepare for battle. But something unexpected happened. As Zurvex ordered his fleet to fire, many Valkyrie ships did not respond. Instead, they moved away, refusing to follow his commands. What is happening? Zurvex demanded over the communication system. A Valkyrie captain responded, We have seen true strength today. The humans could have destroyed our future but showed restraint. That requires greater strength than simple destruction. Furious, Zurvex attacked alone. His ship raced toward the horizon, weapons firing. But the upgraded shields held, and the Valkyrie commander was finally captured. 2 weeks later, representatives from the Alliance and the Valkyrie met on a neutral Meridian world. Powell, Diaz, and Ward represented humanity. Kratal led a new Valkyrie provisional government. Our people have followed the same path for thousands of years, Kratal said to the gathered representatives. We believed physical strength represented evolutionary superiority. We were wrong. The peace talks were difficult. Many Valkyrie still believed in their natural right to dominate. Some Alliance members wanted punishment for years of Valkyrie oppression. Murphy worked with both sides, showing the Valkyrie that human innovation could help solve problems their rigid thinking couldn't address. He designed a special habitat where different species could live together, each section adapted to their specific needs. Humanity never tried to prove we were superior, Murphy explained to a group of doubtful Valkyrie. We only wanted to show that different kinds of strength exist. Adaptation, cooperation, innovation. These are strengths too. 5 years passed. The horizon finally reached the planet they had originally set out to colonize. As the sleeping colonists woke up, they found they weren't alone. Representatives from the Meridian Collective had come to help establish the new settlement. Even some Valkyrie had joined them, eager to learn this different way of thinking. Powell, now older and serving as a diplomat between species, walked through the new colony with Murphy. They thought we were weak, Murphy said, watching humans and aliens working together to build homes. Powell nodded. Physical strength was all they understood. We had to show them a different kind of strength. In a classroom nearby, human and alien children learned together. A young Valkyrie student raised her hand. Teacher, she asked, her crystal body catching the sunlight, why did anyone ever think humans were weak? They seem very strong to me. The human teacher smiled. Strength comes in many forms. The strongest metal isn't always the one that never bends. Sometimes it's the one that can bend without breaking. Like humans, the young Valkyrie said. Like all of us when we work together, the teacher replied. That's the lesson we had to teach the galaxy. Not with words, but with actions.